वेलकम इन टुडे माय डियर स्टूडेंट एंड पेरेंट्स। आइए आज को और खुद को बेहतर बनाने की कोशिश करें। खुद को बेहतर बनाने के लिए फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हमें अपने बॉडी के पार्ट्स के बारे में जानकारी होना चाहिए और बॉडी के पार्ट्स की जानकारी होने से पहले हमें अपने ब्रेन के बारे में जानकारी होना चाहिए। तो आइए कुछ ब्रेन के बारे में जानकारी लेने की कोशिश किया जाए ताकि हम खुद को जान सकें, पहचान सकें, खुद को बेहतर बना सकें और दूसरों को भी बेहतर बना सकें। अगर खुद को बेहतर बनाएंगे तो आपकी ज़िंदगी, हमारी ज़िंदगी और बेहतर हो जाएगी। और कोशिश करना, कुछ ना कुछ सीखते रहना, ये हर इंसान की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, जिम्मेदारी है। हर दिन हर वक्त कुछ ना कुछ सीखे और दूसरों को भी सिखाने की कोशिश करें। तो सबसे पहले हम जानकारी लेने की कोशिश करते हैं ब्रेन, यानी ब्रेन का कुछ बेसिक जानकारी रखने की कोशिश किया जाए। और इंग्लिश तो लैंग्वेज कंपलसरी होना चाहिए। अगर आपको जानकारी नहीं तो आप सीखने की कोशिश करें, अदरवाइज यू कैन ज्वाइन अ फिक्स कोचिंग क्लासेज। ऑनलाइन या ऑफलाइन आपको प्रिपरेशन और तैयारी कराया जाएगा बेसिक लेवल से, ताकि आप खुद को बेहतर बना सकें और दूसरों को भी बेहतर बनाने की कोशिश करें। Anatomy of the brain and the nervous system. एनाटॉमी ऑफ द ब्रेन और नर्वस सिस्टम के बारे में जानकारी लेने की कोशिश की जाए। द ब्रेन इज द बॉडीज कंट्रोल सेंटर, मैनेजिंग जस्ट अबाउट एवरीथिंग वी डू, वेदर वी आर थिंकिंग, ड्रीमिंग, प्लेइंग स्पोर्ट और even sleeping. The brain is involved in the some way. A wonder of the evaluation, imagining the brain is organized into two different parts that are the wired together in the specific way. Each part has a specific job to do, making the brain the ultimate multitasker and working in tandem with the rest of the nervous system. The brain sends the receives message following for the ongoing communication, mapping the brain. The cerebrum, the largest part of the human brain, is associated with the higher order functioning, including and control of the voluntary behavior, thinking, processing, planning, and understanding language. All lie within the cerebrum's control. The cerebrum is divided into two hemispheres, the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. Bridging the two hemispheres is the bundle of the fibers called the corpus callosum. The two hemispheres communicate with one another across the corpus callosum, covering the outermost layer of the cerebrum is the seat of the tissue called the cerebral cortex. Because of its gray color, the cerebral vertex is often referred to as a gray matter. The wrinkle appearance of the human brain also can be attributed to the characteristics of the cerebral cortex. More than two-thirds of these layers is folded into grooves. The grooves increase the brain's surface area, allowing for the including of the many more neurons. The function of the cerebral cortex can be understood by dividing it somewhat arbitrary into zones, much like the geographical arrangement of the continent. The frontal lobe is the responsible of the initiating and the coordinating motor movements. Higher cognitive skills such as problem solving, thinking, planning, and organization, and the for many aspects of the personality and emotional makeup. The parietal lobes is involved with sensory process, attention, and language. Damage to the right side of the parietal lobe can result in difficulty navigating space, even similar ones. If the left side is injured, the ability to understand spoken and or written language may be impaired. The occipital lobe helps the process visual information, including recognition of the shape and colors. The temporal lobe helps process auditory information, integrate information from the other sense. Neuroscientists also believe that the temporal lobe has a role to play in the short-term memory through its hippocampal of the formation, and it learned emotion response through its amygdala. All of these structures make up of the forebrain. Other key part of the forebrain include the basal ganglia, with all the cerebral nuclei deep in the cerebral cortex. The thalamus and the hypothalamus, the cerebral nuclei help coordinate muscle movement and the reward useful behavior. The thalamus processes most sensory information on the cerebral cortex after, helping to prioritize it, and the hypothalamus is the central center of the appetites, defense and the reproductive behavior and the sleep wakefulness. The midbrain consists of two pairs of the small hills called colliculi. These collection of the neurons play a critical role in visual auditory reflex in the replaying this type of information in the thalamus. The midbrain also is the cluster of neurons that regular activity in the widespread part of the central nervous system. And although to be important for the reward mechanism and mood, the hindbrain include the pons and the medulla oblongata, which control respiration, heart rhythm and blood glucose level. Another part of the hindbrain is the cerebellum, which like the cerebellum also has two hemispheres. The cerebellum's two hemispheres help control movement and cognitive process that required process. Timing also play an important role in the Flavian's learning. The spinal cord is the extension of the brain through the vertebral column. It receives the sensory information all part